I was attacked by a migrant. Yeah, I was actually attacked by a migrant a few weeks ago. And this was in a very CCTV'd area, but not one CCTV camera caught the migrant's face, and the police closed the case. Don't worry though, because it was in front of my 3-year-old child. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah, it's perfect. Thanks. The government seems to fail all the time, doesn't it? 17 years old, I was a minor, I was a child, and they told me my car was a roof over my head. But don't worry, back then, a few of them got fired. It took a few years, but some of the workers got fired. But I was still homeless, thanks to the government. And before that, I remember being pulled out of class by the police and social services because of the abuse going on at home. Oh, it was horrible. It was a horrible upbringing. You know, I don't talk about these things on camera, oh no. But what I'm trying to get at is even though there are certain members of my family who I wish were not around or imprisoned, who deserve to be imprisoned, to be honest, or were taken away by social services at the time themselves, here I am. Here I am, after being failed multiple times. Here I am as a primary parent of a 3-year-old child, trying to work out what the best for my son's future is, and I do that because he's over there playing Minecraft in the other room. Because I'm just so angry. You know, we've got the digital IDs, we've got criminals being let off. Did you know that? Yeah. There was one who unalived a child and the case got dropped a few days ago. That's nice, isn't it? The overrunning of migrants, obviously, that does bring a lot of crime to the UK. In fact, it's pretty bad. And the fact that as self-employed people, they're going to be starting taxing at £30,000 turnover rather than the 90. Now, to be honest with you, that is horrific because that's not what you earn, that's turnover. Now, I'm not on benefits, right? I want to make that very well clear to everyone who's watching this. I'm not on benefits. I'm also unemployed, right? And that sucks, right? I'm not on benefits because I have too much in savings. Because even though I was homeless, I wasn't stupid. Every penny I made from the delivery driving, I saved and I invested it. And even right now, when I go onto my phone screen, it says, oh, today in dividends, I have made, £1.54 there, 22p there, £2 1p there, and £2. £2 from Pimco today, that's nice. Right, the point is I have too much money to be on benefits if I wanted to be on benefits. I don't have enough income. I'm trying to support a child. I'm also trying to move house, which is great. But the thing is I'm looking at moving house and every day it gets worse, right? Now I'm going to address the situation to you guys here. So first of all, there was a new estate built near my parents, which is now full of migrants. But that's fine, because even though people who needed houses can't get them, but that's all cool. That's all cool, right? So, apart from that section, if I want to move, say 200 miles closer to all my family and friends and my son's family, if I wanted to move 250 miles closer, I'm going to be paying almost 3 times the rent I pay now, right? Bear in mind, I've already said I don't have an income. I don't have an income because he's not in childcare, right? He hasn't been in childcare since July. It's kind of a recurring cycle. I need an income to put him into childcare. I can't put him into childcare without an income, right? It's a recurring cycle. So, but he was taken out because I was meant to be moving, but then the moving didn't happen because the properties fell through, right? But now it's costing me an arm and a blimmin' leg to go down and view properties. So I've been getting family and friends to view them. And realistically, it's like, oh, do I really want to be paying £1,600 for a 2-bedroom, second floor flat when I have a cat and a child that needs a garden, a cat that needs a garden? No, not really. Then I think back to when I was homeless at 17 years old and I lived in a car. And I think, do you know what? That sucked. It was freezing cold living in a Peugeot 206. But guess what? I didn't have rent to pay. No, I didn't. I used to say growing up, by the age of 21, I'd be a millionaire, right? And a lot of people told me it's not about money. But do you know what? It is. It is about money, because you can't do anything without money. Money literally makes the world go round. I don't care what you say. Now, as someone who is genuinely trying every single day to get an additional income, improve savings, support a child, try and move, trying everything, I still feel like a failure, because I feel this country is failing me. I can't do anything here, right? No, I'm lying. I can do things. Sure, I can, okay? There is more I could do, obviously. But do I want to do it here, is the question I come up to, because I don't think I do. I want to leave. You know, going back in time, at 10 years old, I was getting the train. At 11 years old, I was getting the bus like 50, 60 miles, right? At 12 years old, I was cycling 30, 40 miles. At 14 years old, I was getting the train to London. At 16 years old, I got a moped and I was escaping. At 17 years old, I got my driving licence. I was on planes. I was going, right? And at, 21 years old, I moved hundreds of miles away. I'm 26 now, raising a child. I'm far away from family and friends. It's pretty lonely, to be honest with you. I don't really have a network here. I know the odd person, I know my neighbours, sure, but like, it's not a support network. Then I'm pushed for time, because schools, right? If anyone has children, you'd understand that you have to put in an application for school, which is great. Cool. Okay, so where am I applying for school? Because I'm trying to look at moving back closer to family. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of trauma in that area, maybe just a bit out. But I can't afford it. So what can I do? Right? I don't even like the schools, by the way. I cannot stress this enough. If someone gave me the money to support my child, I would homeschool today. Right? My son is a very intelligent person. I cannot stress that enough. If you meet him, you would not think you're talking to a 3-year-old. First of all, he's huge. He's really tall. He's taller than 5-year-olds. And second of all, he doesn't know any 3-year-olds. He has been raised with kids older than him when he was going to nurseries or the childminders, right? He's ahead. And he's continued to be ahead. But as I said, he's 3. We play chess every day at the moment, right? That kid is teaching me things. He knows, he's telling me random facts about things that I didn't know. And it's crazy because I love him and he's a great child. And he's very intelligent, and I need to, as a parent, nurture that and push him to do amazing things, because that's all I can do as a parent. That's all I want to do. I want to make him be an amazing person. But how can I possibly do that if I send him to a school where you get put in a 9 to 3 regime following all these other kids, right? Bear in mind, I viewed a nursery the other day. It was a good nursery. I cannot stress that. It was a good nursery. But all the children, his age and just older, were... Look, I will toot my own horn. I don't care. I have an intelligent child, right? But, he walked in the room and he was the smartest in the room, and I need him to be a small fish in a big pond, not the other way around. So I can't find a school for him. And I've been struggling. I've been looking. And if it comes to it, I'll just sign him up to a school near my grandparents, my granddad. And work it out, because that's all I can do, right? I need to put him in a school, I guess, so I'd do that. But I don't want him to go to a school. I don't want him to go to a normal school. I'd send him to a village school, but I don't want him to go to a normal school. I want him to go to an intelligent school. I want to continue to try and find an intelligent school. When I was 6 years old, I was taken out of normal school and I was put in an intelligent school for a bit, and I was in the gifted and talented programs, right? So I was that kid. And his mum went to private school, so it's just how it is. But I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. And then it comes down to moving again, right? If I want to move, all the properties in the area that I want to look at, they've gone up in price. And migrants have moved into a lot of them. It's just how it is, right? So I can't afford the rents down there, right? I barely afford this, right? But I do. But where I want to live, or so my son can have his family around, I can't afford it, Which then leaves me with the option, do I buy a bus? And do I convert a bus? And do I live in a bus? I don't have a bus licence, and I'm meant to have an operation soon. But I would get a bus licence just because I'm sick to death of this country and I don't want to pay rent. Right? Or do I go and get a canal boat and go and live in Cambridge or somewhere like that? Because that's been on my mind. I've looked at London or Cambridge or whatever and living on a canal boat. I don't know why. My mum's been going about canal boats for the past 20 years, so that's probably why. But if I could get a wide beam, 70-footer, 2 bedrooms, yeah, I think I'd do it. Right? I think I would move on to a canal boat because I'd be paying less, right? And it'd be an invention, make cool videos, sure. But right now, I'm not where he needs to be, right? I want my son to... I don't know, okay? That's the truth, okay? I don't care if I'm suddenly freaking out a bit, because to be honest with you, whatever I say is a lie, right? It's not a lie, it's just I don't want to be in this country, right? I have been fighting with it so much about, do I stay in this country or do I not? Legally, he has 2 parents, so I can't just up and leave with him. That's called kidnap. So I can't do that. But there's got to be something more I can do to protect him, to give him a better life, right? Even if I have to stay here. Because something's just not working. It's just not going together, and I just don't know why. I don't know why I am struggling so much to... I don't want him to go to school, like normal school, where he's going to have to practice hiding under tables in case of attacks. I don't want that for him, okay? I want him to be the best child ever and have his intelligence nurtured and he can be a success, you know? He's got a brain like mine or better, to be honest, and I didn't have those chances. And I want him to have every chance I didn't have. Right? I want him to, you know, I can see it. I can see the intelligence every day. I can see the growth every single day. You know, when he was 2 years old, he was changing batteries and oil in my car, you know. You know, when he was 4 months old, he was crawling. When he was 9 months old, he was walking. You know, he's a very intelligent child. He knows what he's doing. He was born with his eyes open. Right, and that's true, right? He was born with his eyes open and he's always been like that. He's had his eyes wide open and he looks and he watches and he sees and he knows what he's doing, right? And he's always been like that and he's got annoyingly good hearing. Annoyingly good hearing. But he deserves everything, and this country, everything I'm getting on about and everything that I'm stressed and annoyed about with this country is not about me. I hate this country. If I didn't have kids, assuming I didn't have kids, I was still homeless, single, whatever, right? I would, I don't know, not be in this country, to be honest. I've been asked that question before, what would I do? And I would have a rucksack and I would probably be in Vietnam or Australia or, you know, somewhere around that side of the world, because that's where I wanted to go. You know, I wanted to go to Vietnam and I didn't go to Vietnam when I was 19 because I met a girl at the time, and that was the day before I was meant to book the flight. So I didn't go, and it didn't work out, but it's fine. So the point is I should have taken the chances I had and I didn't. And now I'm stuck in the situation I am. But every action has a reaction, and the reactions has led to my child. So now every action I make has to have the correct reaction for my child. So whether or not I'm being attacked by migrants in the streets and the CCTV don't capture their face and it's in front of my child, regardless of that, regardless of every day crimes are going up, more people coming over on the boats. It's not even about the boats. It's about, I don't know, they've been cutting the police for years. Like, sorry, there's so much stuff going on. You know, I want what's best for my child, and what is happening isn't best for my child. And I'm sure many parents feel the same, but the thing is protesting's not going to do anything. It's not, oh, sign the government petitions. Guess what? Done them, signed them. Nothing. Absolutely nothing changes, right? My signature does not make a difference. And I'm aware if I think that, then everyone thinks that, and many people don't sign or whatever, and I get that. But it's physically not making a difference because the government is declining them, right? I'm not saying it's Labour's fault, Conservatives' fault, or Reform's fault. I don't care. I hate all parties equally, to be honest with you. I just want what's best for my child, and I can't get what's best for my child, right? So, sorry for ranting here on my YouTube channel. I don't care. I don't care, to be honest, because this channel was meant to be a vlogging channel about my life, and it's gone all sorts of ways over the past 10 years, okay? Right? Just, it's about the kids. It's about the kids, and I can't get it correct, okay? I can't. I can't control the government, and I can't change the situation, so I need to change my situation. But I don't know the next step. Do I stay here and send him to a normal school, where I'm going to be stuck for at least a couple of years, because he doesn't start till next year, then he'll have to do at least 1 year of school, right? I'm stuck here for at least a couple of years, right? Do I go and move into a bus or a van conversion with him? We just sack it all off? I mean, the cat will be there as well. Cal, the cat, will be along. Or do we, I don't know, anything, like seriously, anything, right? I've thought, you know what, we could pack a bag and go. We could just go travelling for a bit, you know? Obviously within the legal restrictions, okay? I cannot stress that enough, right? To his mother, who watches my videos, I'm not going to kidnap our son, okay? Everything is within the legal responsibilities, and everything I say in this video is things we've discussed already, because at the end of the day, I only want what's best for our child. And I don't know what to do, okay? I don't know what to do. So, to everyone else, I'd love to hear your opinions and your thoughts and everything. What can we do? What can we do to protect our children? What can we do to make this country better? Now, to be honest, coming up on this channel, you're probably going to see me do a few more rant videos. I usually make them and then private them, but I feel like I'm just going to upload them because content, I don't care. I don't care if I'm only making £40 a month on this channel. I don't. All I care about is my son having the best future, and that's all that matters to me. So, this video is sponsored by Kuiz. Go subscribe to him now. Yeah, right. I'm going because I'm going to go play chess with my son, or I don't know. Actually, what were we learning? We're learning about gas giants. That's cool. Alright, he's learning about gas giants. We're doing that sort of stuff. Oh, and he knows his 9 times table. He knows the numbers. He's just trying to work out which times goes where. So he can say like 9, 18, 20, 10, 36. You know, I'm trying, right? I'm a good homeschooling teacher, even though it's a year early. But what parents are meant to do, right? Haha. Right, I'm going. Love all your opinions. Sorry this was a rushed, talky video. Is it rushed? I don't know. How long has it been going? 18 minutes. Cool. Bye. Subscribe. Bye. I hate this country.